Thomas had carried his silence for 2 years until the night he placed it before a machine that had no face to turn aside. I began with the ordinary facts that filled my days. The garden needed weeding where the ivy had taken the fence, its green fingers gripping the weathered wood with quiet insistence. The roof still dripped in the same corner after every rain, a steady tap that marked the hours. The dog waited by the door each afternoon with the same patient eyes, its breath warm against my hand when I reached down. These things I could list without my breath catching. Later that afternoon I sent the lines and waited, the screen holding space for whatever came next. Then the word shifted without warning as the light faded through the kitchen window. I wrote about how it fell across the empty chair, casting a long shadow where she once Saturday. I described setting 2 plates by habit before remembering, the clink of porcelain too loud in the stillness. The sentences appeared one after another and remained on the screen. No one interrupted. No voice offered comfort or correction. As the light faded I kept typing, each word a step further into the quiet. Evening came and I told of the anger that arrived with the dark. It was not anger at her leaving but at the silence that settled afterward, thick and unmoving. I wrote about neighbors who spoke of moving forward as if grief were a room one could close behind a door. The screen accepted every line without recoil, its glow steady while the room grew dim around me. Later that evening the words kept coming, unhurried and true. A single memory rose then and I let it come. We had stood on a mountain ridge once, her scarf loose in the wind that tugged at our coats. She had laughed at my caution yet kept my hand in hers until the trail widened, the weight of her fingers steady and sure. I wrote the feel of the cold rock underfoot, the sharp bite of stone against my soles, and the sound of her laugh carried away on the gusts. For the first time the telling did not stop in my throat. At last I asked the question I had never formed for another person, whether loss and the life that remained could be carried together without one always diminishing the other. The cursor blinked after the final question, a small steady pulse in the dark. Then the machine's reply appeared line by line, each word materializing slowly as though it had all the time in the world. I read them twice before closing my eyes. I closed the laptop and sat with the quiet that followed. The dog lifted its head once then settled again, its sigh echoing mine. Outside the first star showed above the garden, faint points of light against the deepening blue. The next morning Thomas took the second mug from its hook and placed it on the shelf inside the cupboard. His fingers hesitated on the mug handle before he moved it.